If you are having trouble finding a foundation that doesn't turn yellow or orange on your skin, then you might be having the same trouble that I'm having. Today, I'm going to be swatching 15 different foundations that I think are a good match for my skin tone to pick which ones are best. And we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive into the reasons why foundation companies just can't seem to get it right. So stay tuned, you won't want to miss this. I know what you mean about even cool toned foundations looking rather yellow. The neutral shades are yellow. Everything is way too warm on my skin and goes orange or yellow. I can't get a good shade match, they just end up looking orange. They're either yellow, orange or almost grey. The BB and CC creams had colours way too orange. I'm sharing with you on screen some of your comments, and I've had a lot of fun pulling out all the comments that say foundations look too yellow or too orange. And you know that this is a problem I am struggling with. Every time I do my makeup, I have this kind of too yellow, too orange. And honestly, I'm starting to wonder, like, will I ever get there? So today, what I have done is I've gone through, I can't tell you how many, I've gone through a mass load of foundations, and I have picked out the top 15 that I think best suit my skin tone. But I also want to talk to you about what on earth is going on and why do I, and some of you, many of you, find it so difficult to get a foundation that matches. So I've been doing my research, and it's really, really interesting actually. And a lot of it comes down to our DNA and our personal heritage. And what I have discovered is that my skin tone is a product of my DNA, and my DNA, according to a popular DNA registry, is 98% British and Irish and 2% Italian. What? And that's produced in me and many, many other British and Irish women a colour of skin that maybe you don't see in so many other places in the world, unless you are from English, British and Irish descent, perhaps. And what it is, it's a really, really interesting mix of, it's very, very cool toned skin. It might appear neutral. You do tan, which goes all against the cool toned skin rules, and therefore you might look a little bit olive. And I certainly think that that's the category I fall into. I'm a kind of like a neutral and a cool and a little bit of olive. And what that does is that defies all expectations when it comes to foundation, because a lot of foundations are made by American companies. And I'm guessing that over in America, there's a lot more people with warm skin tones, more warm olive skin tones, deeper skin tones. And so obviously they've got the kind of a hell of a job on their hands trying to cater for everybody's skin tones, from gosh white to black through all the different shades in between. And so, you know, for us over here in Britain and Ireland to have this unique this unique neutral cool olive skin tone, it's kind of difficult, I guess, for every skin tone to be catered for in the world of foundation. So I mean, that's just where we are. that's just the way it is. And today I've changed my lighting setup. Normally I film in what is a typical beauty YouTube setup, and that means that you have some warmth to your lighting. But I think it might be making some of you tell me that I look yellow. And so today I have a pure cool lighting setup. And fingers crossed it doesn't look just blue or crazy on the screen. I'm hoping that it gives a truer representation of what my skin tone looks like and what the foundations look like. It's quite strange sitting here and it feels like a slightly blue light, but I think it'll give you a more accurate representation of what I'm seeing in real life, because a lot of times people are saying everything looks orange or yellow, even when I don't think it does, and I think that's a function of the lighting setup. So fingers crossed we get a better result today. What I'm going to do is I've got 15 foundation shades that I have picked out as being the best match for my skin tone, and maybe they are going to be the best match for yours as well if you are suffering the same British, Irish, olive skin tone dilemmas as me. I have categorized them into drugstore, mid-range and high-end, and I have 6 from the drugstore, 3 from the mid-range and 6 from the high-end group. I'm going to walk you through every one of them. I'm going to dab and swatch all of them on my face so that you can see the shades. We're not going to discuss textures or finishes or wear or anything like that today, because it's going to take a while, I think, to go through and assess all of the different shades. So let's get going. Oh, and the other thing is I'm going to let you know the price of each of these foundations as we walk through. And I have, as best as I can, tried to start at the most affordable one and work our way through until we find the most expensive one. So let's make a start. Right, I've got all my foundations laid out on a dinner plate, so hopefully I'll be able to swatch them without too much drama. Let's get going. Right, the first one I'm swatching today is this Rimmel Match Perfection foundation. Where are my notes? Right, this is the Rimmel Match Perfection. This is in 101 Classic Ivory. This is $9.99, and that is my swatch there. This next one is the Maybelline Plump and Glow in 119. I have been raving about that, but even this one, people have said it looks yellow, which is why I've changed my lighting setup, because I don't think this looks yellow at all. I think it was the lighting. This one is about $10.99. The next one is also Maybelline. This is the Dream Radiant, and this is in the shade 10 Ivory, and this is also about $10.99. This next swatch is the L'Oreal True Match. This is in the shade Cool Rose, which it says is 2R/2C, and this is about $11.99. And I have got the L'Oreal True Match again, this time in the shade 2N, again $11.99. And then I have another L'Oreal. This is the Infallible Fresh Wear in the shade 020, which it says has a neutral undertone, and this one is about $13.99. So if we look at these swatches, I hope you agree these are all a fairly decent match for my skin tone. I don't have any of those issues that we were seeing the other day in like the NYX and the ELF foundations. I think they are being made predominantly for the American market, and I think that's why all of those foundations are looking too yellow or too orange. They're not catering for this sort of very, very cool pale skin tone, but I think this 6 shades I've selected here are all pretty decent. What do you think? So next up I'm going to move to the mid-range. This is the Benefit Porefessional foundation. This is in the shade 9C Supreme, and this one goes for about £32. This next swatch is by MAC. This is the Studio Radiance in the shade NW13, and they sell this for about £34. And then we're starting to move from the mid-range into the luxury with the by Mario Natural Finish SurrealSkin. That one is in the shade 7C, and that one is around about £39. Gotta love it when you've got to go to the front door with foundation dots all over your face. Right, so now we're truly into the high-end range. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and this is in the shade 3C1, and this one goes for around about £39. This is the Lancome Tainted All in the shade 220C, and again that one goes for around about £39. This one is the Tarte Face Tape, This is in the shade 27B, which is a light medium beige. This one also goes for around about £39, which I was surprised by. I didn't realise that Tarte was quite so pricey. Tarte's not readily available in the UK, unfortunately, but I rather like makeup from Tarte, so I ordered this one in. And this next one is Natasha Denona, the foundation of the year last year, I would say. This is in the shade N4. And this one is quite pricey as well, goes for about £45. Next up is the Dior Forever Skin Glow in the shade 2N, and this one goes for around about £50. And then this is the most pricey of all of them. This is RMS Beauty. This is in the shade 22.5. This one goes for about £55. So we've got a pretty hefty difference in price range for all of these foundations. But these are the best shades that I have found all across the ranges. I hope you agree that these are pretty decent in terms of matching my skin tone. And hopefully the adjustments I've made to the lighting means that they're not showing up yellow on screen today. We can have a quick look at these to see if any of them are appearing a bit too orange or olivey. There is one jumping out at me right now, which is this one. And that, I think, was the By Mario foundation in 7C. That one maybe is looking a little bit orange against my skin tone. And this one up here is perhaps looking a bit peachy, which I'm just trying to work out which one that was. I might actually have to look back and check because I'm finding it difficult to determine which one that was. Possibly it was the Tarte Shape Tape. But there we go. What do you think of those? They are not too bad a match. We need to pick one to do our makeup with today. So which one? It's interesting, as I sit here and they start to kind of just sit on my skin, I can see the differences more and more clearly, and I'm not really liking so much these ones on the chin. I think they're okay, but they're not the best. That was the Shape Tape up there. That's looking a bit peachy. This one in the middle is the Lancome, which people are always complimenting me on. This is the Estee Lauder 3C1. I think these five, to me, look like a pretty good match. I'm not sure about these ones on the chin. And then I'm not sure about that one down there, which I think was the Infallible neutral undertone one. I think I'm doing better with the cool tones than the neutrals. Although I think that's a neutral and that's fine. That's a cool, that's fine. I think these first five from the drugstore are looking pretty good. Not sure about that one. Not sure about these three on my chin. Although probably this one, which is the Porefessional, is the best of the three. And then over on this side, I think these five are all good apart from that peachy one there. So of the 15, I think I've rejected 4 more. So I think I've reduced that down now to my top 11. I will list my top 11 down in the description box along with links. So be sure to take a look at that if you are looking for a foundation and you think that one of these shades is going to be your match as well. I've picked out the foundation I'm going to put on now and a whole range of cool toned makeup to go with it. So we are going to speed through that whole process and you'll see the end result in just a few moments. So that is today's hopefully cool toned makeup look. I hope you enjoyed going through the whole foundation collection and picking out the best cool tones if you have got skin like mine. Please let me know down in the comments if there was a foundation that you think is a good match but I didn't feature it, and it's something that I might take a look at in the future. I really appreciate your comments. Thank you so much for all your comments, which led me to create this video today. It's really helpful to know what you are thinking. If you aren't subscribed and you've enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe so that you won't miss any future videos. Thank you for watching, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.